Viewer, until a few weeks ago, few Indians had even heard his name. But the anointment tomorrow of Nitin Nabin as the BJP president is not just a routine change of guard. It is a signal flare. Because at 45 years, Nabin becomes the youngest president of the world's largest political party. It's as simple as that. The fact that most of India didn't know who he was until precisely this point is precisely the point. Because this is not about celebrity politics or symbolism or branding that accompanies the packaging of certain other youth leaders. This is the BJP signaling a generational shift without sound and fury. Even to the BJP's worst critics, the party is quietly executing that generational shift, while its rivals are still arguing over new nicknames and brandings and Instagram reels. Contrast this with the Congress-led opposition. Rahul Gandhi has been packaged and repackaged and repackaged and repackaged at least a dozen times in the last 5 years, each rebrand collapsing under its own contradictions and weight. The latest label, would you believe, is Talaiva because of the Tamil Nadu election, as odd as Jananayak during the Bihar election. Borrowed imagery, borrowed emotion, and borrowed from Rajinikanth of all people ahead of the election in the beautiful state of Tamil Nadu. Now look at the age profile for a moment, my friends, of the BJP's report card since it received that electric shock in the 2024 election. Nayab Singh Saini, 55 years old, delivered a historic upset in Haryana, an election that everyone thought the Congress was going to win. A few weeks later, Devendra Fadnavis, also 55 years old, scripted a political tsunami in Maharashtra in the 2024 assembly election. By the way, at 55, both Fadnavis and Saini are the same age as Rahul Gandhi. Then there's Rekha Gupta, 51 years old, taking over Delhi after a big BJP win a year ago. In Gujarat, just a few days ago, 41-year-old Harsh Sanghvi was elevated as Deputy Chief Minister. And now 45-year-old Nitin Nabin is at the helm of the party. 11:30 a.m. on Tuesday is when he takes over. Now, none of this is accidental, and it isn't accompanied by the artificially packaged sound and fury that accompanies the youth branding and rebranding of many opposition leaders, most importantly Rahul Gandhi. As 2026 gets going, the youth vote is central, bigger than it has ever been before. And that is one of the reasons why, for instance, actor Vijay's TVK has become such a nuclear hot potato in the Tamil Nadu election, with even the Rahul-led Congress pining for the younger Vijay's affections. Everyone knows where the demographic pressure is coming from. It is from India's youth. So while the BJP quietly builds its second rung with people like Nitin Nabin and others and plants the seeds of this generational transition, what is the opposition doing? Calling for a Gen Z revolution, hoping that young Indians will spill out onto the streets and take up the cudgels on behalf of a frustrated and dilapidated opposition, making awkward reels with students, hoping virality equals credibility. And remember, all this, while the BJP has consistently held that there is actually no bigger Yuva Neta or rallying point for Indian youth than 75-year-old Narendra Modi himself. So the war for youth isn't even a real war. As a big election year begins with a bang, and we saw what happened with the BMC, here's the real question tonight, my friends. Who actually has the attention of India's youth?
Just 26 years old when he first entered electoral politics. Nitin Nabin's rise within the BJP has been swift and striking. Nearly 2 decades later, at just 45, he is taking charge of the world's largest party as its president. The youngest to hold the post, joining in the league of such stalwarts as Atal Bihari Vajpayee, L.K. Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi, Venkaiah Naidu, Rajnath Singh, Nitin Gadkari, and Amit Shah. With a young president, the BJP hopes to further consolidate its hold on the youth vote.
नितिन नवीन जी को अब पार्टी ने राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष चुनने का निर्णय लिया। ये भाजपा के लिए तो गर्व का विषय है ही, भारत के लिए भी है। जेन जी के लिए नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने एक बड़ा संदेश दिया है और भाजपा ने संदेश दिया है कि आइए राजनीति में।
Five-time MLA from Bihar is taking over from JP Nadda, who has completed his full term after being appointed in January 2020. and receiving multiple extensions through the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. The nomination process saw BJP projecting a united face, with all the senior leaders, CMs and state leaders endorsing Nabin's candidature. The new BJP chief will take reins of the party as it prepares for key elections over the next few months in West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Assam and Puducherry. Next year, elections will be held in Uttar Pradesh, Manipur, Punjab, Goa, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Gujarat. Nabin has been engaged in the party's preparations for upcoming elections and also visited Tamil Nadu to review preparations where the party faces Chief Minister M.K. Stalin-led DMK. He participated in Pongal celebrations. He also visited Assam, where BJP's Himanta Biswa Sarma is facing a tough competition from Congress. Nabin's elevation to the top party post signals a generational shift in BJP, which has been in the works for some time now, with the appointments of young CMs in states like Haryana, Delhi, Maharashtra, etc. Nabin is the son of late BJP veteran and former MLA Nabin Kishore Prasad Sinha. Within the party, he is regarded as a leader who is ideologically rooted and closely associated with the organization. He also has a background in the RSS. NDTV Bureau Report.
So obviously there is a big war for the youth vote in a big election year. That's very normal for any political party to be obsessed with garnering as many young voters as possible. But let's just give you a snapshot of what youth actually voted for in the elections that have gone by. Let me first of all show you how it actually looked in 2024. This is what it looked like at that time. 39%, okay, I'm just going to try and correct that screen so we can see the full graphic there. 39% of youth aged between 18 and 25 years old in the 2024 Lok Sabha election voted for the BJP, and only 21% voted for the Congress party. And remember, this is a party, the Congress party, that claims to have the most appealing Yuva Neta. So 37% voted for the BJP, and only 21% of youth aged between 26 and 35 in that age group voted for the Congress party. Between 35 to 45, 34% voted for the BJP and 22% voted for the Congress party. So I've just given you a sense of the youth vote anywhere between 18 years and 45 years, and the shift is almost total. The domination of the youth vote by the BJP is very, very significant. Now let me show you what it has looked like, the timeline of the youth vote, and this is very interesting. Pay close attention to this, viewer, because this gives you an even more interesting sense of how the youth vote has shifted towards the BJP. Take a look at that. The blue line is the Congress, the red line is the BJP, grey is the others. Now look at the red line, which is the BJP. From 1999, 26% goes down to 23%, 20% under the UPA government, zooms up to 34% when Modi first comes to power, and then zooms up further to 41 and 40 and flattens around there. So between 2014 and 2019, it goes up to from 20 to 40%. That's huge domination. The Congress, conversely, goes from 27, it was almost equal to the BJP around 1999. Since then, it has been in steady decline. 27, 27, 28, flat lines, goes down to 19 and has flattened over there to about 20. So half the youth vote is with the of what the BJP has is with the Congress party. The others has also dipped at the mercy of the BJP to the loss of themselves. They've gone from 47, risen to a peak of 52 and come down to about 40. So all of the others combined enjoy the same percentage of youth vote of the BJP. Now let me ask you the big questions, because I've shown you how the BJP has just anointed its youngest ever president in history. I've also shown you that the data shows that the youth vote has over the last few years shifted empirically towards the BJP. So these are the questions to be asked as 2026, a big election year, begins. Here are the questions. Number one, does the BJP have a clear advantage on the youth vote? And does Nitin Nabin's anointment simply signal and affirm that? Number two, who in the opposition gives youth an alternative feel? Is there anyone in the opposition that gives India's youth an alternative to BJP kind of vision? Number three, does Nitin Nabin affirm the BJP's youth-centric focus? It's a reminder to the electorate, to the voters, that the BJP has chosen its youngest ever president in a political milieu that is, let's face it, dominated by far older men. Number four, why has Rahul Gandhi, he's the only leader who consistently reminds the public that he is a Yuva Neta, all his branding is of a Yuva Neta. Why has Rahul Gandhi, as the data shows, simply failed to enthuse Indian youth? He's lost 3 big elections on a trot at the central level. And number five, can the opposition turn youth against the BJP? What does the opposition need to do? Why have they failed to do so far? And what do they need to do in a big election going forward? Joining me live now, Smita Prakash, editor, ANI, Pradeep Bhandari, national spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Akriti, Bhatia, political analyst, and Rasheed, Kidwai, senior journalist. Welcome to you all. Smita, I'm going to kick it off with you because the anointment of Nitin Nabin, and I'll say this again, most people hadn't even heard his name until a few weeks ago when it first came up, becomes the youngest president of the world's largest party. In the context of the larger war for the youth vote, the Yuva Netas that are continuing to flex, parties that are consistently trying to invoke the Gen Z, what signal do you think this sends out, Smita? Good evening to all.
Hi, Shiv. Interesting that you use the term anointment. So in the strictest sense, it's not really a democratic process in the strictest sense, because according to the BJP's own constitution, the party president has to be elected by an electoral college that comprises of national and state councils. So if only one nomination, like in the case of Nitin Nabin, is declared without an election, then is chosen, that means that there won't be really an election or voting. It's happened before. It's not nothing new. It's happened with Naddaji and it's happening now with Nitin Nabin. But there are other ways of gauging how they pick their leaders. It's organizational work, it's electoral performance, it's internal evaluation. And Shiv, I think you pointed out very clearly what BJP is intending to do, the generational shift. It's not something which is new, which they have done this in the past, but the way they have done it in a very systematic manner and in a systemic manner, actually. The clear view is for the nation as well as for the party. Focus on Gen Z. Get to know what makes the Gen Z, what makes the BJP tick with the Gen Z and what is annoying the Gen Z. Certainly, the country doesn't want a repetition of what happened in Nepal and in Sri Lanka, where the Gen Z comes out in anger. So that angst has to be channeled through an electoral process, through the democratic process. So the focus on the youth and a generation of leaders being made ready in the party for what lies ahead for the country as well as for the party.
Okay. Pradeep, the BJP is often accused, especially by the Congress party, as a party that has disenchanted the youth. You see Rahul Gandhi very frequently talking about the Gen Z and wanting them to, strike at the heart of the government. In your view, as a representative of the BJP, what does Nitin Nabin becoming the youngest president of your party reflect? Is it an answer to all your rivals and critics?
Well, Shiv, it is historic and it is unprecedented because we as a party under the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi has always believed that the youth in India believes in positive contribution to nation building. And I believe that we are connected to the youth of India. This is why if you see since 2014, it's just not about the Gen Z, but it is also about Gen Alpha, and it is also about the youth it is also about those who have been born in the year of 1980s and 1991. We have a significant percentage of vote, and this has increased since 2014. So our connect with Gen Z, Gen Alpha and the youth has increased since 2014, and this is because we have always believed in engaging with the youth in a positive manner rather than in negative politics. There is a huge difference in what has happened in the BJP, which is also an election, because it is being, Mr. Nitin Nabin has been elected after an election of the national and the state council members voting. Yes, it is democratic consensus, but through election. But this picture will tell you the difference. In the BJP, you will have a generational shift where a karyakarta from bottom up working on the booth can become the president. In the Congress, there will always be parivar shift. So whether it is Rahul today or Rehan Vadra tomorrow or somebody else day after, the control will always lie with one parivar. So the youth of the country, who's aspirational, who's innovator, who has created more than 1 lakh startup, knows that if he wants to come in Indian politics, and the Honorable Prime Minister also said that he wants 1 lakh youth to enter Indian politics without anybody in family in the politics in the past. It can only happen in the BJP. But in the Congress party, you will only see them either reaching to the level 3 or level 4, because the control here is subservient to parivar. But in the BJP, the control is with the organization in the karyakarta.
Okay.
This is why we are attracting the youth, and it is just not related to electoral, Shiv. It is to do with getting youth in policy making so that Viksit Bharat 2047 is achieved with Yuva Shakti.
Okay. Akriti, would you respond to that? Because there are two separate strands here. One is the point that Pradeep makes about an unknown karyakarta can rise to become the president versus the parivar shift, as he called it, within the Congress party, which never seems to really change. And on the other hand, there is the entire age factor, because you've got the Congress party, which has always harped on being led by a Yuva Neta, whereas the BJP, as Pradeep says, has quietly done its work and now has the youngest president in its history, Akriti.
So Shiv, definitely I think the party BJP has been focusing on first time voters and young voters, and that's something which is a very legitimate strategy, and they've also attracted a lot of young votes. But first of all, I think if I'm not wrong, Kharge ji doesn't belong to the Gandhi Parivar in any way. And secondly, about the basic question of cosmetic politics, I actually, on the contrary, feel that the most substantive issues related to the youth, whether it is about paper leaks, about unemployment, joblessness, and a lot of issues around first-time learners, with Rahul Gandhi actually meeting, not just, I mean, I have a problem with the term Gen Z itself, because that reflects a very, narrow urban elite and digitally fluent kind of a class. So there are also rural youth and there are working class youth. How do we kind of, and I think Rahul Gandhi's politics, yes, the question of translation into votes is something that is much slower, but talks about real issues. So I don't think that we should call it cosmetic politics.
No, but the point is, the truth of the matter, which is something we keep coming back to, Akriti, is that if all of those issues are not translated into votes, then why is Rahul Gandhi being projected as this Talaiva and this Jananayak and this Yuva Neta, which he's been rebranded over and over again, when clearly the issues that he has raised are failing to enthuse the very youth that he needs? And I've just shown you the data. It is very clear. This can't be cheated. But Rasheed, I want to bring you in, because the selection of Nitin Nabin as the president of the party, what kind of signal in your view does it send out on this particular conversation over the youth vote? Does it put the opposition on the defensive? Does it not matter? Because the BJP says, this is how we do things. Our outreach to the youth is organic. We don't have to make Instagram reels for it.
Yeah. So I think, Shiv, we must make a distinction. The appointment of Mr. Nitin Nabin is very high on optics, but very low on substance. We know that the political leadership of every political party is very different from the kind of party president they have. So the political leadership of the Congress is with the Gandhis, with Rahul Gandhi to be precise, just as the political leadership of the BJP is with Mr. Narendra Modi and Mr. Amit Shah. So the comparison should be between Mr. Amit Shah and Mr. Rahul Gandhi. And there you can say that, yes, Amit Shah is doing much better. And age is just a number in political arena. You look at the 14 prime ministers we have had, except for Rajiv Gandhi, nobody was young. Everyone was 60 or more. And Rajiv Gandhi was very young when he became prime minister, when he became Congress president. But we know that what happened between 84 to 89, he fretted away all that advantage that he had. Speaking young face, and you had Nitish Kumar, but who won?
Yeah.
So Nitish Kumar won. So therefore, in Indian politics, I don't think there is any correlation between leader being young and getting votes. Mr. Modi is getting votes because there is a kind of combination: cultural nationalism, muscular nationalism, idea of identity, economic growth. You can go on, and youth buy that, and now he's relatively.
Okay, there's a small problem with Rasheed's audio, which I'll correct. Pradeep, you want to respond to that?
Well, Shiv, I believe that Mr. Kidwai is an expert when it comes to analyzing the way Congress functions, but his analysis of the Bharatiya Janata Party and the way the BJP functions might be a bit, superficial, because the Bharatiya Janata Party president does not say the High Command decides on party decision, but the Congress president, Mr. Kharge, publicly says that the High Command decides on party decisions. There is a difference out here. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in governance. He is the leader of our government. His government inspires the party karyakartas to take the policy to the ground. The party work is being done and executed by the president, and this is how it has functioned. Maybe if he spends more time in the BJP office and meeting the BJP karyakartas, he will appreciate this difference. So I understand it comes from a point of view of understanding the Congress, but I completely disagree. Point number two, nobody knows that. I'll give you another example. Please note a difference here. It is just not about cosmetics, Shiv. You will see a huge change in the teams which are taking place. Our party is an organization-driven party. You have national secretaries being appointed as per the constitution. You have national general secretaries being appointed as per the constitution. And it's a process which is followed as per the due process of the party. And this is why we see youth leaders coming up. Could you have imagined a home minister, deputy chief minister of Gujarat, Mr. Harsh Sanghvi, spent more than 1.5 decades in the party? This is why the parties have rewarded him. Mr. Nitin Nabin has been in the party organization ministry from the past 2 decades. This is why the parties appreciated the work. So to say that it is only cosmetic is not understanding how the party functions.
Point made. I just want to come in for a second. I want to keep this on the debate itself, because Smita, I saw you raise your hand. I'm coming to you in 20 seconds. I just wanted to say that at a time when it is very clear that the youth vote is unignorable, it is at the core of every election that is going to be fought, including the BMC election that we just saw. The fact of the matter is, on the national political stage, there is no leader who makes it a point to project himself as a Yuva Neta, to be rebranded as a Yuva Neta every single election, and to reach out and invoke the Gen Z with every speech that he makes, than Rahul Gandhi. That is a truism. That is a reality. Nobody invokes them more than Rahul Gandhi does. He's constantly saying this. Let me just take a few examples before coming to Smita. He invoked the Gen Z after the Nepal unrest. The BJP retorted by saying misleading youth, trying to create unrest. Then Rahul said Gen Z will save democracy. Then the BJP replied saying India first for youth. Rahul provoked saying Gen Z will stop vote chori. BJP retorted saying BJP has won Gen Z's heart. Then Rahul provoked saying I will stand with Gen Z, indicating that nobody else is. The BJP replied, as Pradeep just said, that the youth firmly stand with Modi. So I don't want to make this a Rahul Gandhi versus BJP thing, but when we talk in the context of Yuva Netas, Rahul Gandhi is front and center in anyone's mind. Smita, go ahead. You wanted to make a point. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was about the branding part that you're talking about, and Rasheed also said that. Now, the thing with branding is that it has to be in sync with reality. Otherwise, it's just hype minus substance. Agree that the youth element need not be just the plus point. Let's look at Rajiv Gandhi, which Rasheed was pointing out. The branding was that he was this fabulous man, youth, young guy who's going to take us into the millennium. And then that brand crashed. It didn't work for several reasons. VP Singh had perfect branding as this middle-class messiah who's going to transform India. That too crashed. The clean image crashed. Then LK Advani was branded as the Iron Man who's going to be, tough as nails and things like that, but rejected as PM candidate by the people of this country. Yeah. So, it's not necessary that just the brand will work. You've got to have that organizational branding going on too. The organizational structure provide for that branding. So, Congress party historically has had strong grassroots, but it's weakened over time. Over time, I would say decades it's weakened. So there are local units, which Rasheed will tell you, he's written about it, that there are many local units which exist only on paper. They are inactive. So if there is no organizational revival for over 15 years, then what happens? They depend on this central leadership initiative, central leadership branding. Nothing works. So then you showed a graph about regional parties. It's the same thing. If the organization is uneven, if the core regions are weak, then what happens is that local power brokers come up. Then these permanent cadres become weak. So BJP, on the other hand, is able to mobilize its leaders, its workers, even in difficult seats. It has this cadre which is always election ready. Which political party today in the country does that?
And what, Akriti, the point that Smita makes is in some ways in answer to what you said, which is that, Rahul Gandhi raises the correct issues, but it does not resonate with youth. When you have a party that is focused on packaging and repackaging the high command and Rahul Gandhi and ignoring, the organizational decay that, like Smita pointed out, has set in over the years in the Congress party, maybe that's why elections are not won. The focus is so much on personal branding and Jananayak, etc., and you're ignoring the real grassroots strength of the Congress that it once had.
So again, Shiv, organizational strengthening is extremely important, and that is something that Congress has to work a lot upon. I agree on that. But again, when the strong leadership branding, I don't think it's happening much more in the BJP. Let's not forget. And elections are
Talaiva in Tamil Nadu, for God's sake. Talaiva, Akriti, come on. He's being called Talaiva in Tamil Nadu.
That's probably, again, the supporters there have named him because Thalaiva actually means leader. If you actually see the translation, it's not just, of course, Rajnikant got that name, but it actually means leader. So if the people of South India consider Rahul Gandhi as their leader, then I don't think that should be a problem. Modi ji is also being called as many things like Chappan inch and all that. We don't question that. Secondly, if Modi ji can be a Yuva Neta at 75, then so can RGB at 55. Thirdly, about the real issues argument, if the person is meeting coolies and carpenters and everybody who are again coming from that age and questioning on real issues that resonate with the youth. And why again the Gen Z question is being raised is because a lot of studies have indicated that Gen Z do reject authoritarianism, identity kind of politics, and elections are won on various parameters like mobilizing emotions, media amplification, and a lot of narrative.
Akriti, Akriti, that's a very theoretical answer. I appreciate what you're trying to say, but that's a lot of political science. The fact of the matter is that a chain of elections have been lost, and Rahul Gandhi has to answer for it. He's the man with whom the buck stops, and he is projected, like you said, there is a difference between Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi, both branded as Yuva Netas. You're absolutely right. At 75, the BJP very much calls Modi a Yuva Neta, but the difference, as I showed you in the data, is the BJP wins double the amount of youth vote as the Congress in any given election. Rasheed wanted to come in quickly. Rasheed, yes.
Yes, so I think, look at Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, the Youth Congress membership is much more than the number of votes pulled by the International Congress. Imagine this. Actually, there is no link between the organizational strength of a political party and the electoral outcome. So therefore, to say that the vote is not for Narendra Modi, vote is not for Mr. Amit Shah, but vote is for JP Nadda or Mr. Nitin Nabin is actually, it's politically being very naive. You look at Assam. If Gaurav Gogoi wins, then that will make a qualitative difference to the Congress. Here is a youth leader who is being projected as a chief ministerial candidate, and if that make a lot of difference than anybody who's part of the Congress organization. So the Congress needs people like Gogoi, people like Sachin Pilot. The Congress has a lot of pool of talent, but the votes in India, youth vote for the political leadership. They vote for Mr. Modi because there is a package. Rahul Gandhi is not able to offer any package in terms of, employment or hope. And that is a real lacuna for the Congress party.
But, I would just simply contend that for a party of the of the legacy of the Congress party, with the experience of the Congress party, with the depth of the Congress party, one would have expected that they would have learnt those lessons in a few years. It's been 11 years and they don't appear to have learnt that very basic lesson that you've just given us, Rasheed. That's the obvious one. They should have known that it's about a package, it's about a vision, it can't be about a single person. And yet the Congress party seems to project Rahul Gandhi over and over again and pretty much nothing else. That's why I was talking about the youth. Pradeep, you wanted to come in? You have a response?
Well, just 2 points. I just want to bring in front of you the latest data and the projection of the IMF, which continues to project that India is the fastest growing economy. So those who think that elections are won only on mobilizing emotions should visit the ground and see how more than 20 crore people have been lifted out of poverty, which no other nation has done, and more than 1 lakh startups have been created by the youth because of policy facilitation by the Prime Minister's government. Mr. Kidwai again spoke about a point which I completely disagree with. It is very logical and commonsensical to think that when the Prime Minister is the leader of the government, he is our leader on which we get votes. But that does not mean that the party president is not an important position. And this is where Mr. Kidwai could not understand that in various university elections, whether it is Delhi University or Hyderabad, it is the ABVP which won, because the Gen Z resonated with the ideological preferences that the Bharatiya Janata Party or the student unit of the BJP-led organization was seeing. So whether it is on the campuses where the ABVP is winning, which is again an affiliated of the larger national nation first ideological think tank, or whether it is on the political front where the Bharatiya Janata Party wins, or on the larger cultural discourse which you see where the youth resonates with nation first. So it is not to do with, just about elections being won because of organization. Please understand, we are winning elections because Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government is performing and uplifting life on the ground, including that of the youth.
Let's get slightly beyond, just the Rahul versus the BJP factor, because I agree that, you don't need to be a young leader by age in order to appeal to the youth. And Narendra Modi is living proof of that. But Rasheed, you wanted to quickly respond to what Pradeep said, and then I'll bring in Smita again.
I'm saying, party organizations have been there from time immemorial. The BJP was always there, but it was getting 2 seats, it was getting 89 seats, it was getting 130 seats. It is Mr. Modi which has led the BJP to victory. And that is what I'm saying. Age is just a number in political arena. People don't vote because the leader is youthful or young.
Yeah.
If that was the case, then Tejasvi would have won and not Mr. Nitish Kumar. So that's a stark reality. Mr. Pradeep Bhandari is giving a lot of importance to the organization. First of all, ABP is not the extended arm of the BJP. You must know this.
Sir, Mr. Kidwai, what is ABVP? What is ABVP? It is not the extended arm of the larger national discourse of the nation, ideological think tank. What are you saying?
It's not extended arm of the BJP.
Okay.
Now it is an extended arm of the Bharatiya Janata Party, but you have ABVP leaders coming and becoming BJP leaders because in student politics, that is what we do. It is into student politics. I would advise you to come and 1 year report on the Bharatiya Janata Party and the larger thing to understand it.
Okay.
I'm aware of ABVP and I'm aware of BJP.
Okay, let's move away from that bit. Smita, I want to talk about...
All due respect, please.
Okay. Let's move aside from that, move beyond that. Now, Smita, 2026 is going to be a hectic year as far as elections are concerned. Since 2019 onwards, 2019 became a kind of inflection point for our politics in terms of the youth vote. The youth and the Mahila vote, of course, but the MY, which is Mahila and youth, the new MY as they say. We've discussed Mahila thread there. We're talking about youth today because of Nitin Nabin. How do you see it playing out? Do you think the opposition has its act together to battle this package, as Rasheed was pointing out, that the BJP consistently provides to garner such a large share of the youth vote? Do you think the opposition has any ideas at all, or will have?
Firstly, the opposition is not a single unit anymore. The India Alliance has broken up, it's shattered. To get them together, don't know whether there is anybody who has the gumption now to get around to doing that. Mamata Banerjee, CM, is just too busy with the Bengal election. Tejasvi's had his nose bloodied in Bihar, and in UP, Akhilesh is kind of busy with his own election. So it doesn't look like there is a homogeneous entity called the opposition. That having been said, what Rasheed pointed out with Tamil Nadu, that the Youth Congress in Tamil Nadu has more members than the votes it garners. Now that's an interesting data point. I won't contest it because he knows the Congress very well. But the point, Rasheed, I want to make is, do those congressmen who are, or women who are registered as Youth Congress or in the Congress party, what do they do? Do they really work every day? Now, contrast this with the BJYM, right? If there's somebody is registered anywhere in the country with the BJYM and they don't work every single day, you will have somebody calling them up, whether at the booth level, at the mandal level, at the district level, state level, national level. There is clear defined responsibilities. If they don't do that, then they are hauled up. So it's not the number of people who are signing into the party. They all have responsibilities given to them. So it works as a well-oiled machinery. So even if you say that it's Modi ji who's getting in the votes, no denying that he gets the Gen Z votes and everything. But there is a decentralization in execution of Modi ji's jo vada karte hain wo, whatever promises he's making. There's a full decentralization process, a strict discipline, many of them working for this. Whereas in the Congress party, the leadership might say something, we'll make a promise of, or we'll talk about vote chori and all that, but it is so loosely structured, and even the cadre, they don't work year round for bringing that into reality. So that is where the votes don't get translated.
Why hasn't that changed, Rasheed? Why hasn't that become priority number one?
Shiv, I would again say, there's a Urdu couplet, जब खुदा हुस्न देता है नजाकत आ ही जाती है. See, the Bhajpa Yuva Morcha, it is there for time immemorial. The Parna Prabhu, the RSS, everybody was there. It was not clicking because it didn't have a face. They found in Mr. Narendra Modi from 2014 onwards a leader that could combine a lot of issues, ideological, matters of cultural nationalism, everything. And that's the package that is giving votes to the BJP. Not the organizational setup. The organizational setup was there since, time immemorial, I would say. And the BJP worker was very dedicated. But it was not clicking. It was not crossing 272. It started crossing because they have Narendra Modi.
Last 30 seconds, Pradeep, you can end. Last word to you.
Well, we are absolutely fortunate that we have a leader in Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which has made it a 40% vote share party on a national level. But please understand, the leader's message is taken forward by organization. It is complementary. It is not contradictory. So Rasheed is trying to make a contradictory argument. It is not about a contradictory argument. It is about a complementary argument. You were not present in Bengal before. Prime Minister is the leader which people agree to. It's the booth which gets you to 38% vote, because it's the booth Karyakarta who takes the message of the Prime Minister on the ground. You have across you are joining us, knowing that there is one or the other position they can contribute to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision.
It's something that the Congress will have to think very, very carefully about more than any other party. The BJP currently controls double the percentage of the youth vote that the Congress does. A party that projects itself as being led by a Yuva Neta. It is something that will require a great deal of introspection, because no matter what issues are raised, elections are meant to be won. Otherwise, there's no point leading a political party. I'll leave it there. Smita, Pradeep, Akriti and Rasheed, thank you very much for your time tonight on India Matters.